If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Reports circulating that satanic monster, MlCHAEL AQUlNO, has apparently passed away. Now, I'm just going to give you the source. Obviously, I can't prove this. It's not reported in the mainstream media. It's not reported even on his Wikipedia. An article came out from Heavy.com that said satanic cult leader MlCHAEL AQUlNO has remanifested from his physical body. And I'm assuming if he, they're saying his soul left his body, it probably went right out the butthole and took a direct one-way ticket to hell for eternity. But reading this at first, I wasn't quite sure if this was actually true, but I did find this link. Now, the Temple of Set is what he's best known for. That their website is xeper.org. And this is a link that I've searched around the actual website and couldn't find it, like how to click to it. But there's a link to this, and I don't know if it's on the back end of the website or it's just, something circulating that the Satanists are sharing with each other because they don't want everyone to know about. I don't know. But I'm just going to show you what this says, and you can decide for yourself. It says, let it be known that on Sunday, September 1st, LIV of the Aeon of Set, these people are such dorks, MlCHAEL AQUlNO remanifested from his physical body as he had let the world know he'd been experiencing declining health for several years. The period also saw a tremendous outpouring of written material, public interviews, and important correspondence within and beyond the Temple of Set. AQUlNO has been vocal in the last couple of years doing podcasts I've seen and speaking. Now, you might say September 1st. Well, this article on Heavy is reporting that, and this doesn't surprise me, I've never heard this before, but Satanists actually go off of a calendar that's completely opposite of what the actual calendar is, and that would make sense, right? Because they can plan an event and they could say it's September 1st, but it's really July 1st, right? Makes sense, because then somebody who might want to intercept it or try to block it or try to go to it, they speak in a different language almost, right? Just like we know with signs and symbols, they use these codes that have different meanings to them, and they use them right in front of our faces. And that's the stuff that I expose in this channel. But according to a religious studies expert, this is from the article, Dr. Dave Bromley of Virginia Commonwealth University, he told the BBC that groups such as the Temple of Set are known to follow their own calendar. So they have their own specific calendar. So you can see this, the link above, which is from their website. You could obviously see the Heavy article, which pretty much is just talking about his history in the military and his history of being a Satanist. Now, and obviously, on this post on their website, they're talking about him as if, some type of God just passed and how everyone should be distraught. He says, we as human individuals, listen to how they talk. We as human individuals, however, will experience considerable emotional and intellectual outpourings as a result of a loss like this. It is expected and honored that these experiences arise. Be mindful of how you choose to express these moments. Remember as much of an impact AQUlNO has had upon your life and initiation. There are those for whom this is a far more personal and private loss. So this looks legit. Rumors of this guy's death have happened many times over. I did hear that he had declining health, which isn't surprising at his age. I've just figured he'd probably go get some more adrenochrome and be okay, because these guys seem to live into their hundreds and, don't ever seem to get sick, as we see with some of these freaks that just still are alive, like Kissinger and the rest of them. But it's funny how even in one article that comes up, because look, this wouldn't make mainstream, because if it came out in the mainstream that this guy had passed, stories would come up about ritual abuse, and they don't want that stuff in the mainstream, right? They don't want to talk about, because this is a legitimate guy who openly admits to being a Satanist, who was accused of being involved in this stuff, and many people have come forward of being victims of abuse from him directly. I'm not sure if you've seen the video. I did a video on my website about AQUlNO and about the Presidio case, where It was a military compound. Let me see here. Presidio, the Presidio case, a group of parents contended that as many as 37 children had been abused at an Army daycare center, and officials say at least 2 children have been infected with STDs, which just makes you want to punch a hole in the wall. I can't even deal with this stuff anymore. And they said that more than 60 children have been seen. This is back from 1987, of course, at the Army facility, and accusations are pouring in, pointing to Aquino. Again, they used the satanic panic to dismiss this. They got him out of there, moved him to a different base, and that's what they always do, right? Is they bring up the satanic panic. They mention McMartin to trigger people and say, oh, because these kids just made it up. They made it up. They made it up. That's what they always want to say. This guy was as foul a monster as you could possibly be. All of these Satanists are involved in these rituals that involve children. Some of you may remember Aquino even being on Geraldo Rivera, talking about just denying all this type of stuff when Ted Gunderson was on there, pointing out all of these things that happened. You want the world to be rid of people like this. These aren't people who on their deathbed are going to suddenly find Christ. They spent their entire life, leading other people's souls to damnation by teaching the satanic doctrine, by being involved in black magic and these rituals, which they openly admit on their website to being involved in the left-hand path, and dark magic and black magic. And this stuff if you read Aleister Crowley's teachings, this stuff is all based off of rituals that involve young children and sacrifice, right? And this goes back to the Bible talking about Baal worship and the sacrificing of children. So Aquino, apparently, according to this, has exited the rectum of his body, his soul, like I said earlier, because as they put it, he remanifested from his physical body. So I'm sure he went out he probably just farted and his soul left, and then it just blew down into the pits of hell, right next to his god Lucifer, where he can now spend all of eternity. And again, when you hear these stories, you obviously need to vet it. I've seen a lot of people that say, well, this isn't true because there's been rumors of his death for a long time. Somebody like him could just vanish, and there's not going to be reported in the media. First of all, he's in the military, and the military has been known, by the way, the other stuff I cover on my channel for, you want to talk about trafficking. I mean, the military is so involved in it, and that's because Aquino is a high-ranking military official who's even been caught, like I said, being involved in doing this stuff. But they do mention it on the back end of that website, unless that's a bogus link. And if it is and somebody can prove that it is, I'll take this video down because I don't want to put out misinformation. But I do know that he was in bad health, and he's kind of stayed out of the he stayed out of the public eye as far as being seen, I believe. But he has been doing a lot of interviews in the last couple of years, teaching, and a lot of new writings and things like that. So maybe he knew because of his declining health that he wanted to put more teachings out before he goes. And I'm sure he picked a specific date to be probably ritually sacrificed on his way out. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But again, if anyone finds other information on it, please feel free to share it. I have a post on my website if you're a subscriber over there. It's pinned to the top. So put any information you find on this over there, please. And again, obviously you want to make sure that this stuff is true. And why is it important? Because, well, this guy's one of the most demonic creatures that have ever walked the face of the earth, and has been linked to so many places, including Boys Town and the Franklin scandal, the Franklin cover-up, like I said, the Presidio case, and all these other ones that we probably have never even, the cases that you never even hear about because they don't ever get brought up. But a lot of accusers have come forward and pointed a finger at him, and they say, oh, it's just because he claims to be a Satanist and they believe in the satanic panic stuff, so they just point a finger at this innocent man, right? Yeah, because everybody just has people pointing the finger at them, accusing them of doing these heinous acts. Give me a freaking break. So again, you can check out the website over there, post any information you have. If you haven't seen the website or signed up, I recommend you do so. And again, I'll leave the link below here for the back end of the website wherever this is on the Temple of Set's website. And if anybody can figure out if it's actually linked in somehow, because there's no click off to it. There's no tags to it. When you look at the bottom, the about page and this other stuff that they have on their main homepage of their website, I couldn't find a way to link to it, but this has been floating around. Satanists have been posting on Facebook. This is from stuff I've seen that people have shared with me. And they've been posting on forums honoring him in the last week or so. And I'm assuming it's because, they made this announcement on the website and that's how they found it out, because they've been sharing this. It's almost like his obituary, so to speak, that the Temple of Set wrote for him. So again, check it out. I'll leave that linked up below. I want to thank you guys again for being here. I want to thank the subscribers of the website. I want to thank everyone. And again, if this is the case, this guy, for all the things that he's done, I can't even imagine what's going on with his butthole and Satan's pitchfork right now. Ain't going to be pretty. And let that be a lesson to all the other Satanists out there, or be a note, I should say. Remember, all these things that you do in this life, you're going to deal with for eternity. So find Christ now and repent. Don't follow people like MlCHAEL AQUlNO and Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey. Because it might seem like a joke to you now, but it won't be a joke when you're spending the rest of your lifetime down in pride parades down in the pit. I'll tell you that much. I thank you again for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.